Hello and welcome to the Stampscapes test lab. I'll show you what I'm doing here. I have pre-stamped a lot of my kind of glowing light elements. Now that we have a few of them in the Stampscapes line, we've always had moons before, but I don't know, using this on this printable glow-in-the-dark vinyl sticker paper has been really fun, and it's just been a really, I don't know, just a whimsical addition to the cards and just kind of what they can do in terms of that light retention and glowing capability. But this is just one sheet right here, and you can get a lot of different imagery stamped onto this piece right here. We have the floating lanterns like this, and I say floating because it has this little reflection down here, but you can use them in a landscape without the reflection. It just becomes a land-based type of element. Moons, other lanterns like this that I have hanging in one of my recent scenes that I did an experiment with. But I have this right here, and what I do is I go in and I'll color these, pre-color them before I utilize them in a scene, just to save some time. I'll show you how I do that in just a bit right here. But what I'm doing is I have this three-ring binder organizer sheet right here. And this one's a coin holder, which is pretty fun to use. You can probably use any type of these little things like this. Like the ATCs, the artist trading card ones, have about, I don't know, like, is it 12 or something like that cards in there? Or maybe it's 9. Maybe it's 3 by 3 or something like that. But that would be a really good one too. But how I'm organizing this is these are ones of the glow-in-the-dark elements right here. I have my small lanterns right here, the medium ones, and I'll put some of these larger ones right in this slot right here. We have some of these small moons right here. And for my hanging lanterns like this, I'm not cutting out the whole lantern because I don't need to, because I can stamp that into a scene, and the part that's glowing is just this light. So that's this little portion right here cut out. So it's a real easy cutout. It's just a little triangle like that. The hardest ones to cut out here are the circles, but even those ones, they're not that hard to cut out. You just use your scissors and just, cut nice and slow. I don't always get a good circle, but, when you use it in a card, it doesn't really matter. Here's like an example of that glow in the dark right up here. Okay, but on these different lanterns right here, I have like 3 different color schemes going on here. This one has the greens, and I'm gonna do some of these new ones over here colored in this blue because I really like that blue tone. Now these ones right here are stamped on a yellow, kind of a, I don't know, faded looking yellow, oh, like construction paper. It's not even like really good cardstock. But what I've done is I've stamped on there, and what I've done is I've gone in here with, variations of yellow, orange, and red to create this little glow in here. On this one right here, I'm doing the green color scheme. And down here below, I've done a couple of recent things like using this little tent here. I love interior lit tent photos at nighttime, with that color coming out. Tents are usually, pretty cool colors too, and you can put that little tone on them. I used green on this one. Now this printable binder glow-in-the-dark vinyl sticker paper is that kind of greenish glow. So I don't know. I guess you could probably add in some warm tones on this one. Maybe I'll try it on this one. But it does glow with that greenish, real kind of, I don't know, whatever. It's not a lime green, but I don't know, glow in the dark green. So I don't know if that would be a really good combination. So I've been using typically on the glow in the darks either the bluish tones or the green tones because those really harmonize really well where, they're the same kind of temperature at least of this inherent glowing look right here. Okay, so I don't know if I can color these quite yet without it kind of smearing on me a little bit because I just stamped these out like, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. Okay, but I'll try it here. But what I do is I'll go in and I'll color this in. By the way, I colored these with a Brilliance black pigment ink, okay? Which is a pretty dark ink. and it's water-based, so it will stamp on this glow-in-the-dark sticker paper. It'll take like a StazOn, but if you color StazOn on here with an alcohol pen, it will make the color run, okay? So the type of paper that this is really designed for are water-based inks. So you're talking about your dye inks, not something like your VersaFine Clear. That's an oil-based pigment ink, okay? So if you can, I always recommend getting one of these. Water-based quick drying brilliance inks, they can use them with so many different types of surfaces. It might not adhere to all of them like foils, but it'll dry on them, and you can always heat set or spray seal and get them to adhere. Now when I'm doing this right here, I'm going to cut these out from the sticker paper, so I don't even need to stay really within the lines. You know, you can go out of the lines all you want, okay, because that part's going to get cut off anyways, okay? So you go on here like this, you know, that's like glowing a little bit green, and remember, you know, it's going to have a light retention in there, so you don't need to color the whole thing. So I'm going like this so that one tone of green is in the kind of the perimeter of that little opening like this, and I'm doing a little bit of a lighter one on the interior. And that's how you get these kind of glowing looks like this, okay? So you go with one color. You don't need to go too dark. I guess you could, but you don't really need to because the tones are already drawn into the design. And then you just come into it with a slightly lighter color, okay? We'll start off with this one this time. It's starting to pick up some of that ink that's a little bit wet still. All right, you can go with something like that, and then if you want to add a little bit of temperature to it, and I guess on this one it really doesn't really matter which one you go with first, but leave that kind of little opening. It gets a little bit tighter on these smaller ones. Let's go with these really small ones down here. I'll just go with this one tone like this. Now you don't have to, you know, color these in, but I just think it gives these lanterns just so much more of a kind of a nice full kind of volume to them, and you know, in this case a little bit of colored temperature in there. Curious, let's try a little bit of this yellow tone. I don't think I've tried that yet. Not on the glow-in-the-dark paper. I've used it on the yellow paper though. See that right there? It has a little bit of tone to it. So what this does is it looks pretty interesting in, I'm talking about the color aspect. It looks pretty good when you turn off the lights, but when you're adding this tone in here too, it just gives the pieces more of a body to them inherently. So I didn't color this moon yet here, but this tin has a little bit of greenish tones right in the shaded areas. So anyways, those are those types of colors right there. Let's just take a look right here before I stop this vid, and let's just take a look and see how this bluish tone looks on here. It almost looks like I don't know, like an LED or something like that. Oh, sorry. Out of focus a little bit. So I'm going in here with this blue tone like this. And I'm coming up into the lantern a little bit with that. Okay. It's like a Caribbean blue or something like that. A little bit of a warmish blue. Right down there. Here's a little bit of a larger one. See this larger one, you can, and the largest one, you can kind of create that little glow on the side of the lantern too. Here, this is upside down, but it goes like that. Okay, you can see it, right? The difference between that one and this one right here. Let's hit this one too. So I'll just do that. I won't work on them one at a time like I'm doing here, but I'll just, you know, I'll do all the tones on all of these, and it really doesn't take too long, you know. It's not like a process that I, you know, gotta I don't know, think about doing, but too often, with cutouts and stuff like that, and doing all these little things like that. But I just think it's worth it here in this case. It's just so much fun having a little glow in the dark elements. It's light elements in our cards without having to do anything like I mentioned this in my live streams. You don't have to go in and add in things like LED lighting, like actual lights into your scenes, because you have this glow in the dark in there. So you can add these to these different elements. I guess I was looking at my cabin stamp where the nighttime cozy cabins have that interior open window, so it can look like little glowing lights coming out of it. Maybe it look eerie, I don't know, with this kind of a look right here. But we have this right here. Let me just cut one of these out real fast. Oh, by the way, so if you use a pretty thick ink on here, or if you're stamping these lanterns out like on construction paper or something like that. Oops, my little things are coming out here. If you stamp these out and it comes out really light, if you color them in a little bit, with pens or something like that, I'm talking about the black impression. That happened on a lot of mine because I was working with like a matte paper with dye-based inks or something like that. Just go in there and color it with some pens, your alcohol pens, or you can go in there. I went in here with a little bit more colored pencil, and I darkened in some of these areas in here. But I also I spray sealed off my paper ones, not my glow in the dark ones, okay, but my paper ones like right here, the yellow construction paper, and it darkened my impressions too. So if you hit it with like an acrylic sealant, it can really darken these elements right here. I'm saying that because kind of the first couple experiments that I did, where I was using these cutout pieces in a reflection card, when I looked at it, I thought, some of those my lanterns, the black part of it looks a little bit anemic. I thought the cards looked, fine, but I wanted those lanterns to be a little bit darker. So just simply spray sealing kind of took care of, I don't know, made them, I don't know, it's not going to make like a 50% gray, like 100% black or anything like that. But you can probably get about another 10% darkness in there. But anyways, there's my lantern like that. That's not going in that one right there because that's yellow construction paper. For me, I'm going to put it right down in here. So I go small, medium, large down this way. And then I'll add in some other elements. These ones will be my blue ones again. These ones will be, I don't know, I need some more green ones in here sometime. I probably won't do it all at once. This is a lot of cutting right here, but, it doesn't take too long to kind of, work in mass production here. Then you got a little bit of cutting to do, but for the most part, it's like, not rectangles, but like almost like parallelograms or something like that, except for the moons, okay? But all the rest of these are pretty easy cuts here, so yeah, real easy to do. You gotta do a little bit of angles, but, it doesn't have to be perfect. And when you're gonna be using these, you're gonna be using them in nighttime situations. You're gonna be flipping off the lights for your cards, you know what I mean? You don't want a 1/4 inch out on the outside or something like that, but, it doesn't have to be perfect. And it looks just, absolutely fine. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it comes in handy if you're, wanting to do some of these. If you have any questions, drop me an email or comment on this video.